Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm here. Oh my God. I'm so stupid. Hold on. How are we doing this morning? Out here hustling, doing this Instacart shiznit. I'm gonna wait till the room populates a little bit more before I start talking about this revelation. Yeah, Eric, I got the do-rag on. I'm feeling young right now. You know what? I should have been, like, when I first started shaving my head, I had like 10 or 15 do-rags. I just threw all them shits in the trash. I felt like, you know, I didn't need them no more. But then, I was like, I was like, yo, when LL Cool J got a baldy, he still used to rock the do-rag. It still makes, it's just a personal joke. What I'm trying to do is, because people thought that, when I be talking about when I was younger and shit, how I used to have waves, like nobody believed me, you know, and I never really took that many pictures when I had waves. You know, they didn't have camera phones in the late 90s and shit. You know what I'm saying? I think I got my first digital camera in like '98 or whatever, and I didn't really take that many pictures of the hairstyle. But anyway, one of my good friends, you know, who I used to work with, she always be putting me on and shit, you know, she always gets the scoop. Let me turn this air conditioner down so y'all can hear me. I'm sorry. She always gets the scoop as far as like what's going on, and she said that in Connecticut, they're gonna start handing out fines if you're not wearing a mask while driving, and she said that don't make no sense. You're not even sitting next to them, but why does that matter? And like immediately, you know, when I hear something that just like completely doesn't make sense, doesn't match up, like I immediately call red flag. So first thing you do is you go through search engines. I know they say, oh, don't believe Google or whatever. You gotta use something to research something. You use Google, you use Bing, you use Yahoo. You know what I'm saying? Something that big. That's not something that would just be casually mentioned. That's something that a lot of people would know about because, you know, we're talking about fines and pulling people over and stopping people and shit. So the first thing that popped in my head is they don't got the police they don't got the manpower to police that. That's fucking impossible. You know what I mean? That's like stopping. That's almost like stopping frisk. That's like, yeah, that's exactly what that is. But you know what I'm saying? But not people walking, but cars driving. You know how fucking hard it is. It's not even enough law enforcement manpower to pull off some shit like that. So I looked up, you know, a few search engines. Nothing popped up. I went directly to the Fox 61 website, Morning News. I used their search engine. I typed in if you don't wear a mask, you get a fine. Nothing came up. It says no results, right? And what happened was she was like, yeah, me, I'm gonna just do her impersonation. She's like, yeah, me and my mother, we both saw it. Like, now I'm not saying like she talks like that because she heard or nothing. I'm just being silly. But anyway, she's like, yeah, me and my mother both saw it. And then I thought about something, and this is something that I've heard before too. Like sometimes, like the news, they'll run some bullshit, right? Real quick, and then they'll just put, I don't know where I know this. I don't know why I know this. This is something I came across. You know what I'm saying? They'll run some bullshit just to influence the mass in a certain type of way, and then they'll just pull it. It's kind of like, I'll give you an example. It's kind of like when you got like a Super Bowl or NBA championship. They got T-shirts. They got T-shirts and hats and different types of apparel that says this team won the NBA championship or this team won the Super Bowl. Even before they even before the game is played. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I bet you there's a whole bunch of Buffalo Bills, like 1991, 92, 93, 94 Buffalo Bills hats that you can buy that say they're Super Bowl champions. But the thing is, it didn't actually happen. You know what I'm saying? So there's no point in putting it out. They pull everything off the shelves. They pull it. Now, who's to say the news does some bullshit like that? Like they predict or they think that this is what's going to happen, or they get some type of bullshit tip that this might happen, and so they got a studio and everything. They run a story. And then they go, oh shit, this shit didn't happen. So let's pull that story real quick. Because my friend, she didn't just imagine that. That was out there. Or they do certain things to see how much they can control the public by putting out bullshit information. It's just kind of like the Russian bots. They say, quote unquote, influence the election somehow, like, different trolling and different, not only do they have subliminal, you don't even really need, on top of subliminal messages, influencing the masses with like radio waves and shit like that, you can influence people with images too. You can influence people with memes. You can influence people with bullshit ass stories. Yo. I had this one joke, and I think I'm gonna bring it back. Right? You can make up any type of quote and make it seem believable if you put a picture of a very like famous, like mentally influential person, and then if you make it like a meme, people will see that as facts. You know what I mean? Like you could say some shit like, all these years we thought collard greens was bad for us, but it turns out it's actually the cure for AIDS, right? And then you have like Sidney Poitier's picture, you know what I mean? Like looking real serious. So now you're gonna have motherfuckers raw dogging while eating soul food. You know what I mean? Like, so I just wonder how often do things like this happen, where they put out some bullshit, Fox, I know the population of not even, I think Connecticut is 2 million, but the population of Hartford is 100,000, and I forget the greater Hartford. I forget their population. Let's say it's 300 or 400,000 people, and out of all that, you know what I'm saying? Let's say 10%, or not even 10%. Let's say 5% of 400,000, right? 5% of 400,000 watch that. That's 20,000 people. You understand what I'm saying? Now, out of those 20,000 people, how many of those individuals have social media? You know what I'm saying? Let's say that's 50%. You know what I mean? Half of those people. That's 10,000 people that saw that bullshit ass story, right? And then, those out of those 10,000 people, they're gonna tell their peoples. So 10,000 people told 10,000 people, told 10,000 people, told 10,000 people. So now you got more motherfuckers like idiots driving around with masks on inside their car as if this shit is floating around and it's airborne, and it's not. You know what I mean? Just to influence people. Let's see how much they control. It's a control. And you don't think, like, say if they're trying to do some type of control study to see if people follow it, you know what I mean? You don't think it's people out there monitoring social media, monitoring pictures and things of that nature, monitoring how many people are actually using masks while inside their cars. And it was like, damn, we just ran this bullshit ass story, but we got 50,000 motherfuckers to respond to that shit as a test. So let's do this shit about something else. Let's say some bullshit about a vaccine. Let's say some bullshit about a politician. Let's say some bullshit about whoever else. Yeah, no, I know Connecticut opens partially on the 20th. And that's another thing that didn't make sense either. Like, that's a big story. Like, we all know that Connecticut is partially opening on the 20th. Like, this we do know. So if Connecticut is opening 7 days from now, why would they make a penalty so harsh? You understand what I'm saying? Why would or make such a what's the word I'm looking for? Why would they make such a rigid rule? Like, you know what? If you inside your car, you can get pulled over by the cops and get a fine, or they look at your license plate or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even with the license plate shit, they could be like, oh, you could say you had a mask on, but they thought you didn't. Looking at your license plate, and now you're getting a fine in the mail. Because there's no way. Like, I'm driving right now. It's about 25 cars. I'm near Buckland Hills. And like and I'm looking around like, I mean, some people got masks on their chin and whatever, but for the most part, nobody really has masks on right now. A cop couldn't come here and stop all these people, you know what I mean, and find everybody or take the time, with a scanner or taking pictures and shit of license plates. You know, just another way to make money. Is this a way to recoup all the free money they're giving away via unemployment and stimulus check? Who knows? Like, man, at this point, I'm just hypothesizing, if that's even a word, man. I'm just using hypotheticals, but you know what I mean. They influence. I broke down how they can pretty much influence like 40 or 50,000 people to do some bullshit that's impractical. You know what I mean? They test with small things and then they raise it up to bigger things. Like I said, if they want to shit on a politician, if they want to shit on a celebrity, if they want to influence you to take some type of product like a vaccine or medication or anything. You know, I wish I could really really pinpoint it, man. You say, see the do-rag slipping off? That's just funny. Yo, hey Ray, man, this do-rag too little. I gotta get another one. Cause you know the do-rag, you're supposed to tie it twice. Right? You know, we know that. You go around in the back, you go around again, you tie it. But I don't know if I got older, if like my head got bigger, or if I got fatter. But it's one of them, the whack do-rags. It doesn't have the thin string. It has like a thicker string that eventually becomes thinner. You know what I'm saying? But but yeah, like as I was saying, back to the he said you got to make your own words like objectify. Yeah. That's the comedian in me. That's the poet in me too. You know what I'm saying? As a rapper, I'm sure you've done that too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like this one case, it's like almost like some Mandela effect. If y'all don't know anything about the Mandela effect, right? They say a lot of us have like certain memories, and we share certain memories that don't exist anymore. You know, for some reason we all remember something as a certain way, but we all see it differently right now. Like a prime example, I'll give you an example. J.C. Penney. Everybody and their mother knows that, you know, Penny is spelled P-E-N-N-Y. And everybody remembers J.C. Penney being spelled P-E-N-N-Y. But if you look at Penny right now, it's P-E-N-N-E-Y for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Or what's another one? If you watch the Karate Kid, Daniel's son with his headband, like most of us remember that the headband has the sun, the red sun on it. You know what I'm saying? But if you go back and watch the Karate Kid right now, it's a blue sun. You know, it's blue. So just little things like that. You know what I mean? Is it the Mandela effect, or is it the media? You know what I mean? Is it the powers that be playing with us in a certain way and trying to influence our minds, man? That's why it's good to always question whatever it is that you see. When you see, who made it? I think Ben Franklin made up the, it was a famous quote. It was like, what did it say? It's believe half of what you see. It says believe half the things that you see and believe none of what you hear. That's what it is. I don't know if that was Benjamin Franklin. I'm not exactly sure who said that. But that's some real shit. But what it's basically saying is, you know, whenever you hear something or you see something, don't just take it for face value. Do as much research as you possibly can. Use basic logic. When you hear some crazy shit like, oh, if you're going, I mean, it just creates like panic and fear. Like it's bad enough that we're concerned that we might catch some shit by leaving the house, but now we gotta feel afraid that like we're gonna be harassed by police because we're not wearing masks inside of our car. So now, you know, they could take it a step further. If your car dirty, what they gonna do? Start fucking monitoring the inside of our cars and making sure our cars is clean and lights all down? Like that just doesn't make any sense, man. I'm wondering, like I'm really wondering, like, how many other times the media did some shit like this. Because my own girl, she got no reason to lie to me. You know what I'm saying? She's sincere. She has a naivete way about herself. You know, like an innocent way about herself. She's not like the lying type. You know what I mean? She loves. She always got the scoop. We used to work together. She always had the scoop on what was going on. She the type of person, like if somebody died and somebody gets shot, you know what I'm saying, or some shit like that. Somebody had a fight. She the first person to find out. You know what I mean? You know, she the hood reporter. You know, we always got hood. Hold on, give me a second. We always got the hood reporters, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I question it. Like, I just wonder. That's one of the, I don't, honestly, I don't watch the news. I really don't. I don't enjoy watching. I get my news in different ways via social media. You know what I mean? When pretty much everybody is saying the same thing, like one way you can kind of cross-reference and make sure that news is or information from the news is more accurate is if everybody is pretty much saying the same thing. You know what I mean? It's not like when it's split down the middle, like people's opinion on COVID and should we stop early and should we stop early and can you be reinfected and blah blah blah. Like that's all over. That's a matter of opinion. But there's certain things that just blatant that everybody knows. You know what I mean? Like we know that Kobe Bryant died. Like that's something that everybody, like how he died and the circumstances behind it, that can be debated, but we know that he's not here anymore, or at least we think we know. You know what I'm saying? We know that that's one thing. Like whether he committed suicide, he's still alive. That's still up for debate. But we know he's a monster. You know that there's certain things that we know. We know that Donald Trump was off for a fact. So there's certain undisputable things that everybody can agree upon. But when it comes to these more abstract situations that really can't be proven, that's just a matter of opinion. Man, you can throw all kinds of bullshit out via media and just influence people to believe certain things, man. All types of things. There are people that are profiting from selling masks. Not just people, there are companies and what have you, man. There are a lot of people that stand. There are a lot of people that stand to profit, and that are profiting. And if this is over, those profits are going to stop. So, and some people, there's it's in the best interest of them for these masks to continue to go around. You know what I'm saying? So, all I'm saying is be cautious with the information that you get. Even if you see like a big lead or some shit like that, look at a couple of articles. And I've done it before. I've saw some shit because a lot of times share things that they believe in, right? You're not gonna share some shit. You said make sure your do-rag tight enough so it won't slide off if it's not tight. It's tight. It's on. It ain't moving. This shit tight as hell on my head. Even though it's tied wrong because the string ain't long enough. Yo. I got a short string do-rag. I got a do-rag for a baby. You know what I'm saying? I got a do-rag for a 7-year-old. You know what I mean? My head big as a motherfucker. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we share things. You share stuff that you believe in, right? If you don't believe it, share it. First of all, you got to want to believe whatever it is that you're going to share. And then you share it. Something that aligns with you. I've never heard of people sharing something that's diametrically opposed to what they believe in. So you have to believe in it first. You're not going to share some shit that you don't rock with, that you don't like, that you don't agree with. But you have to be more objective. When it comes to shit like this, man, you can't be. You can be whatever you want. You know what I mean? But if you try to be like a more productive human being that's actually trying to service this universe, you understand what I'm saying? Then you have to like take the time to really like scrutinize the stuff that you're looking at and make sure it is what it is before you actually share it. There's been times where I've shared some bullshit and I was like, oh, my bad, I took it down. Or there's been times where I wanted to share something that aligned to something that I believe, but then I realized it was bullshit. It came from like a bullshit source, so I didn't see it, man. You know what I mean? And just use like basic common sense. You know what I'm saying? Use basic common sense before you share something, man. Because simple logic would have just broke that down. There's no way in hell that the cops, I'm using my GPS and fucking Instacart at the same time. But there's no way in hell the cops gonna be able to follow and track every single millions upon millions of cars, right? There's no way they could monitor that shit and then find everybody that's not wearing a mask in their cars. Because this is the problem. If you say, oh, you have to wear a mask while you're driving inside your car, eventually it's going to get worse. Oh, You're going to have to wear a mask inside your house. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually you're going to be, oh, you got to wear a mask while you in bed. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. This shit is ridiculous, man. If nobody is next to you, the shit ain't floating in the air. They say sometimes small particles in aerosol areas will hang in the atmosphere for like up to 2 hours. Do you friends know? I'm about to say fuckers. I don't know why I'm fucking aggressive right now, but do you guys know what aerosol means? I mean, I just really recently looked it up. Aerosol is like mist. Like if there's like a cloud, if there's smoke. You understand what I'm saying? That's why, you know, if you're around smoke, when a smoker blows out smoke, that puffy cloud, that's an aerosol. So if you sneeze, the COVID droplets will be inside the smoke, inside the aerosol, and if you walk through that can get you sick. But it ain't fucking patches of cloud and smoke. What the fuck? What is this? The industrial 1920s when people haven't figured out how to like use their like plant machinery correctly, and you got like big ass smokestacks and fucking tugboat and like smoke everywhere and shit, man. And like, or what is this? Like a coal mine or some shit with explosives and dynamite, and it's like smoky clouds everywhere, and people just coughing around smoky clouds everywhere. Like, no, it's not pockets of aerosol clouds everywhere. It only like that's funny. Yo, it can last inside the air for 2 hours. I said yes, if it's an aerosol situation. Like if you look outside right now, I'll turn my camera. Patches of smoke or fog or smog or anything like that. No, so COVID couldn't survive in this shit. That shit, I mean, it could be on the ground. Don't get me wrong, but it's not floating in the fucking air. Come on now. Now, if you smoking inside your car, your boy got the COVID, he cough while, you know what I'm saying, you got the smoke in the car, you know, then it could last in that aerosol. But it's not smoky clouds, you know, it's not foggy every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you people are ridiculous. You gotta just use like basic logic whenever you hear bullshit. It absolutely doesn't make sense, man. And as stated before, they're about to Connecticut is going to start opening up gradually on the 20th. You know, if you feel sick, still stay home. Still continue what you do. If you feel strong, you want to brave it, go out there and brave the elements and do it, work. Do whatever it is, stay healthy. Do whatever it is you have to do. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. When this quarantine started, this is pretty much what people have been doing anyway. There still are essential workers and people going out because they got to take care of themselves. They have to feed themselves. Not everybody is eligible for unemployment. Not everybody wants unemployment if they don't have to get it. Some people want to go out and just work and just risk it. You take a risk in life every single fucking day. We risk ourselves all the times when we hop in our cars. Excuse me. When we take, and that's spit, that's not COVID because my mouth is salivating. When we take, when we go to roller coasters, when we take medication, you know what I'm saying? When we go to the doctor for surgery, we always risking ourselves all the time. Since when did society as a whole say, oh, you know what? Fuck it, we can't take no risks no more. You know? It should be a person's prerogative and choice if he wants to take the risk. But then people are like, oh, but that person taking a risk, he could possibly get other people sick and other people hurt. So no, we can't. We're going to mandate that you're not allowed to go out. And it's like, okay, I understand that. Yep, you're trying to protect the public. You're trying to protect everybody by mandating this. Like it's not a real quarantine. It's a soft quarantine. Because if it was a real quarantine, none of us would be out, but be allowed to go outside, and it would be army vehicles and the street police and that shit like a motherfucker. But that's another conversation. You know what I'm saying? But if the government really believed that people were really poisoning each other at a high rate, and if they were really concerned about that, then it would be a true quarantine. Like nobody would be allowed to go outside. You wouldn't allow. There would be no grocery stores. You know, everything would be shut the fuck down. We would be eating MREs, man. You know what I'm saying? Meal ready eat. Military grade. That's what we're military ready, whatever. I forget. I forget what the fuck does for my military people. What does MRE stand for? My boy told me meal ready eat, but I know there's a more technical name for it. I think he was being silly when he said that. Yep. But that's all I'm saying, man. Just be leery of this news. This is some big news. Yo, real talk. This is some big shit. Like on the low. Like bullshit stories ran and then completely wiped out, completely taken away. This is some big shit, man. It's some scary shit because it makes you wonder. How many other times has this happened to kind of like influence our subconscious to make us believe a certain thing, man? I can't remember the situation, but I remember, well, you know, the Mandela effect in general. You know, that's an example right there. But it's like I remember, it's like I recall some shit like this before, like something being ran, but then it's like it never existed. Like I remember this shit, but I can't remember it. Like whenever it comes to me, I'll mention it. But I'm about to get off of this because I got to deliver this food real quick. So I'll holler at y'all. # everybody need more green.